And talking about sanity, ACM Omije, from the reports we've seen, you've talked about the part of the FRSC and other stakeholders. But again, if the operators are not complying to these strict safety regulations, that's where the gap lies. Tell us the kind of adamancy you've witnessed, from these operators, talking about the unions. We're even getting reports that their tankers are not roadworthy. What are you getting?
Again, this is one area that they need to also help us. And talking about the owners. Remember when I started, I said this thing requires multi-stakeholders approach. The owners is just one out of it again, that they need to also step up their game in terms of how roadworthy are these tankers that we are seeing on the road. Some of these tankers are older than you and I, and they are still on the road. They are supposed to have been changed. If you look at most of these incidences we had, close examination, like the commercial say, we'll always do crash investigation. You discover that some of those tanks had even had cracks. You see where they were welding it as if you were mending cloths here and there. And that will just tell you that that tanker is no longer supposed to be on the road. And we are talking about these tankers having safety valves. And it is the responsibility of the owners to ensure that their tankers have these safety valves. And that these safety valves are also maintained. One thing people do not know is that, yes, it is one thing for a tanker to have a safety valve. The API regulation or guideline is that every 2 years or 2.5 years that those valves will also be serviced or maintained. Those things, are we doing it? That is the big question. Then we said they should install speed limiting devices on these trucks to checkmate the drivers who may want to speed because they want to make as many trips as possible. Another thing again is a question we need to ask. How much are these tanker drivers being paid by their owners? Because we have had incidences where you see them also trying to even circumvent the AP, that's a manhole, because they want to take some fuels that they will later sell by the roadside. If you are traveling on Nigerian road, you will see small kiosks where diesels and products are sold illegally. Who are the ones that are supplying them there? It is these tankers trying to siphon small fuels and small diesels to go and sell to those people just to make ends meet. And I think that if they are being well paid, then they should not be engaging in all those things. So these are the areas that the owners of the trucks will also need to help us. Some of these trucks, they don't go through maintenance. One of the action plans that was rolled out during that summit was that these trucks should be going for checks twice in a year. Okay. But how many of them subject their trucks to check even once a year? And that is where, again, the regulatory authorities will also help us. The downstream and midstream regulatory authority should help us. That at the depot level, these safety standards should be enforced and enforced to the letter. If a truck comes into the depot and it does not meet these standards, let us not load those trucks. We are also having issues today. We are beginning to see trucks that carry 60,000 liters of fuel, more than the stipulated 33,000 or 45,000. The maximum tank we should have in Nigeria, going by the regulation, is 45,000. The crash that occurred at Diko, I looked at that tank very well. I saw it has about 5 chambers. That should tell you that it is carrying more than 45,000 liters of fuel. All because operators want to, of course, maximize profit, because what you pay for 33,000 liters is also what you pay for 45,000 and for 60,000 liters. So these are issues that we should all join hands and address holistically.
Okay,